Hi, it's Meagan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my curriculum picks for my third grader. She is 7. She'll be turning 8 in October. And here is what I picked for her to do for our school this year. So to start off with language arts, we're going to be continuing with The Good and the Beautiful. We've used that for her for 1st and 2nd grade, and it's worked great, and she's really liked it. So this year we're going to do the level 3 course book. It's set up fairly similarly to the other lessons that she's done before. There's, at the beginning of each lesson, instead of doing booster cards, they have readers, which they kind of transitioned to in level 2. They did booster cards and also read from readers. But in level 3, they are just doing the readers for their phonics and reading fluency. And so it comes with 4 different level 3 readers that they go through, and it tells them each day how much to read and from which book. And then after that, there is a lesson that you do with the child. There's a lesson practice that they do independently. And then there is also the independent practice that they do independently as well. The independent practice is a spiral review, so it's things that they're not necessarily learning in this current lesson, but things that they're reviewing from previous lessons. And so this independent practice can be done at any time. It doesn't have to be done after they do their lesson practice and after they've done the lesson. It can be done at any point that they want to. But the lesson practice does need to have the lesson taught before they can do the practice part, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to use this. In addition to this, it came with this spelling practice book for them to work on spelling words. They did a little bit of spelling in level 1, more spelling in level 2, where they focused more on, there was a set list of words that they wanted them to memorize and learn how to spell for each unit, in addition to different phonics rules that they could learn how the different phonics rules worked so that they could apply those to spell a variety of words. It wasn't just memorizing words, but more so memorizing rules and how phonics works when you're spelling. And so here they have just the spelling is its own separate book. And then in the course book, it tells you when to pull the spelling book out and what pages and lessons to do in there. So that's all the Good and the Beautiful language arts course that we're going to be doing that full thing as part of their independent practice and lesson time. They are asked to read for at least 20 minutes from a book that's from the Good and the Beautiful book list. You can find that online, and I can leave a link for it down below. But on that book list are some of their own Good and the Beautiful published books. And so I did purchase those just to have on hand. We purchased some of the ones that are the Good and the Beautiful published books for the 2nd grade level. And my daughter really liked those. So I got these for her as well. These are the Crooked Creek Ranch series. There's 2 in there. And then this one is the Badger Hill Farms Mysteries. And there are 6 in here. So she'll be reading through some of these on her book list, and then there's also just other regular books that are on the book list as well that she can choose from to read. Okay, in addition to the regular language arts for level 3, I want to have my daughter improve in her writing ability. And so this summer we're working through the 1st grade level of Writing Without Tears. And she's working through this. We will continue with this at the start of the school year until she's done. When she finishes this, we will move on to the 2nd grade level and see how she's doing with that and how she's doing with the writing that's already in the Good and the Beautiful course, just to kind of see how she's doing. If her writing is improving, we might be able to stop these. If she still needs practice, we'll keep going with these and work on the 3rd grade one as we need to. Also, to help with her writing, I got this 1 question a day journal for kids. I found this on Prime Day for only a couple dollars. And so every day it just lists day and you put the date, it asks a question, and it gives you 3 lines to write an answer to that question. So I thought this would be more of a fun thing for her to do. That might not feel quite so much like the traditional story writing. It would just give her more practice and more exposure to writing. And then in addition to the Good and the Beautiful language arts and the writing, I am also going to still have her work on handwriting. She's just about done with the level 2 book, but I'm going to have her do level 2 again, just because she still needs some practice with forming her letters correctly and doing the strokes correctly before she can move on to cursive. So I'm hoping that she'll be able to work through this pretty quickly, and probably 2nd semester we might be able to transition to cursive if her motor skills are developed enough and she's practiced enough with the different kind of printing strokes in order to move on to cursive. And then for math, we are also going to be doing the Good and the Beautiful Math Level 3. It's very similar to how previous levels in math have worked, where you have a review up at the top that's reviewing certain skills that you've learned in previous lessons. It gives you a lesson. And then similar to the language arts, also gives you a lesson practice section that goes along specifically with that lesson that they are supposed to do independently. And then there's also an independent practice area as well. A review and activities is what they're calling it, where it is the spiral review, where they're reviewing and practicing skills that they've learned in previous lessons, or kind of at the beginning of the year, what they've learned in the level 2 book. And so the lesson practice and the review and activities are both supposed to be done independently as well. And the review and activities can be done at any point. It doesn't have to be done after the lesson, but the lesson practice does need to be done after the lesson is taught. With that also came the math box. And this has just all kinds of tools. So there's a hundreds chart, months of the year on the back. There's also tangrams, a measuring tape, a few different kind of dice, and some pawns. So she'll use those just in various lessons. It'll just say at the beginning of the lesson if you need anything from here. And then in addition to both of those, she's going to be learning multiplication this year with the Good and the Beautiful in her curriculum. And so I subscribed to the Good and the Beautiful multiplication math practice app. It's new, where it's going to teach the times tables in music form and just give lots of practice. So I subscribed. Since it's new, they are running a special through the end of July where you can get it for like 20% off. And so it was only $20 for a one-time lifetime purchase, and you can have up to 6 kids using it, 6 profiles within it. I signed up for her to have that just to practice multiplication. And then I also printed for free the math fact flashcards. And I printed those and laminated those. I just need to cut them out, and she'll have those to go along with the app in addition to the practice and the lessons that she's actually doing in her workbook. Okay, and then for her science, I'm going to talk more about this in our group subjects video, but we do group subjects for science. So we're going to be using the Good and the Beautiful Wind and Waves. We're going to be doing science twice a week is my plan right now to get through 2 units of these Science for Little Hearts and Hands. So we're going to do the Wind and the Waves first. We're going to start with that. And then second semester, once we finish that, we're going to be doing Sparks and Stars. So I think she'll really like those. And then in addition to that, something that she's going to do more independently and with my husband is we got this nature notebook from the Good and the Beautiful, and it goes through the different seasons and has different activities to do in nature and things to observe and think about and learn about. So her and my husband are probably going to go through and work on this starting in the fall. She's very excited for this. It has lots of things to do, like this one's a nature walk. It gives you space to do a free study. This one is about rocks. So there's poetry. There's all kinds of like fun activities in here. And I'll probably also make copies of the ones that my preschooler can do as well, so that she can participate and do some of the things that are also preschool appropriate. For history, again, that's a group subject that we do. So I'll talk more about that in our group subject video. But we are working our way through the American Girl books and talking about like the history and learning about the history of those. My preschooler is just going to listen to them. My third grader is going to listen to them. And then in addition to that, she's going to do a lap book for each of the American Girls. So this one is for Kaya. And I'll leave a link for where I found these down below. They were all free. And basically you just cut them out, pop them in a file folder, glue them in, and then my third grader will go through and like answer the different questions and write down different things that she learned from reading those books. This one is for Josefina, which is who we're currently reading about. I just haven't put this one together yet. So this is kind of what it looks like when you print it out. They're just different sheets, and then you cut out and fold. And it tells you like where to fold, where to glue, and those kinds of things. So we've done lap books before, and she's seemed to like them. So I think that this will be a good way for her to kind of extend her learning and give her something that's a little bit more of a challenge than just listening to the stories. Okay, and then for kind of other subjects and other things that she's going to be doing for school, We are going to work on the Good and the Beautiful typing. I probably won't start this until second semester, just when she's a little bit older, just so that physically her hands can get a little bit stronger to be able to properly type. So we're going to start with the Good and the Beautiful typing for that and see how that goes. And then she also is going to be continuing with her ninja class in the fall when classes start back up again. In the fall, she also takes an art class through our local art museum that they do every fall for homeschoolers. She also participates in 4-H and is planning on continuing that in the fall, as well as participating in our church's, they're called activity days for girls who are her age. So she will go to those. Those meetings are twice a month. And then depending on our schedule, we also have a really awesome homeschool PE class that's run through our local university. And as long as it works with our schedule this year, I will probably sign her up for that. If it doesn't, then we'll just wait and sign up either next semester or next fall if it works better with our schedule. So that's everything that my third grader is going to be working on this upcoming school year. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or if you have any other suggestions of things that I have completely missed or should be thinking about. We really enjoy homeschooling and I'm looking forward to starting another new school year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.